Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And my name is Vijay Ivanturi. I am the co-founder at Pumas.ai, a company that was formed about 3 years ago using Julia language as a core ecosystem. And today I'm going to be talking to you as an applied scientist. I'm not a developer, and I've extensively used multiple languages, and I am a statistician, but there are different kinds of statistician. And I would love the tools that I use to be my slave and not me being a slave to the tools. So the topic of my presentation today is about empowering the statistician. And when we talk about the statistician, there are many different kinds. I am the self-trained statistician. I'm not a professional statistician. And nowadays, you have the hobby statisticians, especially in the era of COVID, where data was available and everybody wanted to analyze. But if you want to think about it, pretty much everyone has some trait of a statistician within us. We make decisions on a day-to-day basis and we apply those decisions to provide solutions, whether it is in the home front or in the work front. But focusing a little bit more on the scientific aspects, scientists. Let's start by understanding and playing a small game. Could I ask you to identify the statistician in this? On the left is Jack and on the right is Joe. Jack is a trained clinical pharmacologist, somebody like me, who had the opportunity to learn and learn and train more in statistics and use those statistics in his day-to-day work. Joe, on the other hand, has a strong technology background and was trained in professional statistics and applied mathematics. And for Joe to make a career, he has to work with other fields like people like me so that there is the science that is applied and the solutions are provided using statistics. At the end of the day, all of us wear multiple hats. It doesn't matter what domain we come from, we have to work with other domains to provide solutions that are meaningful for our clients. And if you bring all of this together, the idea is that we all talk about collaboration. Different domains need to work together to bring collaboration and make successful solutions and successful products. Let's take an example. I'm sure all of you know about Uber, and the way Uber became a billion-dollar company is by using the APIs that were generated by each of these individual products. There was an ecosystem that existed, and this ecosystem provided the absolutely wonderful APIs that allowed Uber to compose them together, and boom, it became a billion-dollar industry, right? And on the other hand, Uber gave it back. Uber released its own APIs, and you see now Uber integrated into, let's say you want to book a table at a restaurant, you just open for example, the Open Table app, or you can, even if you open Google Maps, you see the pop-up for Uber. You want to go catch flight United or Delta, you open the app and you have Uber integrated there. So Uber has released its own APIs which allow other businesses to succeed. Now, why am I talking about this? The fundamental core here is that there is no success without an ecosystem, and there is no ecosystem without composability. And Julia language is brilliant in providing the composable features of its language. The packages, they all just know just how to talk to each other. But let's sort of bring this back into a more understanding. Why are we even talking about this? Now imagine Jack and Joe wearing those different hats. They have different expertise. And imagine in the same model of contributing to a particular product, the product here is a statistician, right? And we're talking about each statistician wearing multiple different hats. And if each of these hats are able to provide an ecosystem that allows that particular individual to analyze data, then it will become easy for that statistician. So our goal is to make it really easy for the statistician in the making. We are all statisticians. And I know the professionally trained statisticians are going to be really angry, but the truth of the matter is everybody is analyzing data. It is true that we may be making a lot of mistakes. It's true that the applied, self-trained, amateur, hobby statisticians may not be doing it the correct way. But I think it's the job of the ecosystem to provide the necessary tools and education to be able to train anyone to do the science better. If you look at the first principles of any domain, and I'm looking at this as a unilateral principle, every domain has its first principles. And if you want growth and propagation, the first principles need to be taught well, and you need to provide the tools. Now think of this from a multidimensional approach. You're now talking about first principles across multiple domains that need to integrate well, and you need to provide the tools and education to allow the growth and development of the critical mass. So to empower the statistician, which is the title of the talk, we really need to invest. And I think Julia language, has to really invest a lot more into education and tools. We already have fantastic tools, but those tools should allow easy usage. And they are easy to use, but bring it to the next level, bring it to the masses. The problem right now is that there are a lot of hurdles. It's pretty much like an entrapment, right? If Julia language is a first language that I am learning, then it's not going to be so convoluted. But we're trying to move an ecosystem of users from other languages. And when they come into this world of Julia language from, for example, R, they're obvious to face some hurdles. And these hurdles are natural, and we need to do our best to sort of cut those hurdles out. From a natural perspective, we expect our analytical tools to be organized. I'm a clinical pharmacologist. Maybe somebody is an epidemiologist. They will use those tools. Maybe somebody else is in another domain. They will use this particular tray. If you look at how these trays are organized, they're easily discoverable. They're clearly marked with colors. They're numbered, and they're easy to use, perhaps. They've been set up for different kinds of use cases. This is the expectation, that it doesn't matter which domain you come from, whether I'm coming from clinical pharmacology or whether I'm coming from time series analysis or whether I'm coming from fluid dynamics, it doesn't matter. Different kinds of domains need to have the tools to perform that analytics. The core tools are important, but we need the tools on the top that will make it organized, discoverable, and easy to analyze. But the challenge right now has been, so far, across the other ecosystems, that these tools have been disorganized and not accessible. Maybe this is too bold a statement to make, but the fact of the matter is we need more organization, education, and tooling to allow the growth of the critical mass. Julia provides the opportunity for the growth. It's composable. You can teach Julia as you learn the science. You can teach Julia as you learn the math. And the problem right now is that it's especially with the statistics ecosystem, it's a relatively small user base. And the Julia way of programming has an on-ramp. So people coming from other languages strive to do the Julia way of programming. And the beautiful part about this community is that, scientists are very helpful, especially if you go on a discourse. They're very, very helpful and help you get along. We need more of this. And obviously the challenge about time to first everything. I know it's considerable amounts of improvement that has happened over the way, especially with the ability to have the binary builders and system images that have really helped even us at a company like Pumas.ai. So there are pros, and we need to build on these pros. And the easiest way to build is through providing world-class educational material. We need to document the packages and train the domain user and not just the next developer who's going to use your package. Yes, you should provide your APIs for other package users to use it, but we should focus on the end user. And the end user of your particular package can be from anywhere. The classic counter to this is that, well, they're developing the packages for free. We need resources to be able to do this. Absolutely, this is a challenge, and companies like Pumas.ai and others are helping and we are ready to help in any way that's possible. The other thing which I really think is important is to anyone, allow anyone to do, and when I say anyone, not just a professional statistician, but the self-trained, the amateur, the hobby statistician, to try things out and go from trying things out to writing about it, to publishing about it, to blog about it. We need more presence in the community. And I think the tools to facilitate going from doing a simple analysis to publishing it online should be, the friction should be close to zero. Imagine me having to now learn how to spin up a server and do an HTML blog. I mean, it's beyond 90% of the population. So we need to make it easier. And lastly, we should incentivize more programs to teach Julia as a first language and statistics tool. I think this will happen over time. This is already happening at the university that I'm involved in, and I am pretty sure there are a lot more universities that are coming up. There are excellent books that are being released, and I think we are on the right path. We are at a very opportune time, and we need to empower every statistician and take it to the next level. We have the opportunity to innovate, completely change the mindset and say, let's build the next generation, and the crowd will follow us. The current generation will also follow us. So in closing remarks, I would say that we need to strive to empower every statistician, whether they're completely professional statistician or self-trained like I am. I think if we can achieve that, that is what will allow the growth of the Julia statistics ecosystem. Thank you, and I hope to hear back from all of you.